Hi, welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. This is just going to be a quick one, bit of an update to do with Aleena's Help Letter. I bet it's too windy out here, just break the mic on it. We got a response from the office of Sir Keir Starmer, as he's called in the system that we're in. Keir, to you and me. No, that makes me sound like I'm a Labour supporter. I mean, I do prefer Labour to Conservative, but nowadays I feel that both of them are just as bad as each other. But at least his office responded, because his counterpart, the Right Honourable Rishi Sunak, as the system calls him, his office is still not. The cabinet haven't come back to me since my MP. My MP's gone AWOL at the moment. I haven't got a return email from her. Anyway, here's this is Josh, the office of Keir Starmer MP, Leader of the Opposition. Dear Harris, thank you for getting in touch with Keir. He has asked me to respond on his behalf. My apologies for the delay in getting back to you. Unfortunately, a tech error led to your email being misfiled on receipt. Thank you for sharing Aleena's story, and I'm sorry you feel as though the education system is failing her. If you are happy, I will make note of your comments and pass them on to the education policy team for their consideration in future decision making. We take these issues incredibly seriously and believe those with disabilities should be treated with dignity and respect. If you're interested to hear about our wider plans for education, please read into one of Keir's 5 missions for a better Britain. And it's got a highlight here, breaking down barriers to opportunity at every stage. This covers education, childcare and opportunity. Please do not hesitate to get back in touch if there are any further points you'd like to raise. I mean, the letter is very nice compared to the previous letters I've got. It's very pro, but the thing is, I guess, because he's the opposition, that's what you're going to get. When people get in power, it's suddenly the same response you get, you know? But when they're not in power, it's like, yeah, we'll take it on board, we'll help you. Vote for us, vote for us, vote for us. And then when they're in, well, we all know what happened to Tony Blair. Need I say any more? So anyway, I'll get back to them and say, yes, please pass this on to your team. Maybe if they do win the general election next year, maybe they will be the ones that will make this change that I've been striving for to do with the HCP. But the problem is they probably won't, you see, because he's already got his plan. And I expect his plan is very similar to the one that's already in place. Just with, a bit of verbiage of like helping people out. But will it, the thing is, the big problem is the money. That's the thing that holds them all back. This issue of money. This is why I want to get rid of money. Because that is the big issue. There's not a big money tree, as they like to call it. Even though money comes from trees. A bit of a strange one to actually make fun of. But there's not enough money for all these things. And that's why we need to get rid of money. But no politician's ever going to say that, is it? Because they all want to stay with this money. Why? Why does everyone want to stay in this system of money? I don't know. Anyway, that's deviating from the point. Anyway, that's a response from the Labour Party, at least the head of the Labour Party, even though it was his, not him per se. At least there was some reply. Maybe there's more to come. Maybe Rishi will reply soon. We'll find out and I'll update you. At least we're getting some replies. But the only problem is words alone is not going to do it. What we really need is action. If I've told you there's a problem, who's going to do something about it? Because no one, even the Department of Education, they came back, they're going to listen. They've acknowledged my comments, but they're not going to change anything. It's still there. And with the HCP, it seems to be a glorified AMP plan. It's not, additional needs plan. It doesn't seem to have really solved the problem. And the thing is, like, every time you do these things, you learn, But the problem is you have to wait another year before you can use what you've learned. Like now I realise what I should have, because I did make amendments. And I went back to them and got the educational psychologist to agree or disagree. Mostly she disagreed, obviously. Though I believe that she's employed by the LA, so that explains everything now. So they've put a bit in where it says class teacher, TA, and if there's an intervention person needed. That's what it says. What I should have said, and now what I've learned because I've Googled it to try and find more, is I should have said, it should say, this Aleena needs a class assistant, 1-to-1, this amount of hours, this amount of money. That's what I should have asked. But the thing is, the educational psychologist must have worked in this field, knows exactly what we said to her face to face, that we wanted Aleena to have 1-to-1 support. That's what the teachers were saying that they needed. They say they don't have the staff, they don't have the money. That's what they need for Aleena to be able to do it, is 1-to-1 support. So we said that to her. She only partly put that down in her appendices and her notes, conveniently. And now she just thinks that the class teacher and TA can do it, or someone extra can do it. Whereas what she should have known, she knows herself, but it's probably because she doesn't want the LA to pay for it, because she's paymasters as the LA, is it should have said, Aleena needs 1-to-1 support assistant for this amount of hours, for this amount of money. Why she didn't put that? When that's what we wanted, that's what the school said they needed. The actual people who are doing the job. I suspect it's because she works for the LA, and it would mean that they would have to pay £19,000 a year. So that would mean 6,000, 4,000 to 6,000 would come from the school, from their budget, and then the rest would come from the LA. So is that why the educational psychologists, who I believe are employed by the LA to do this job, didn't put it? Independent? Conflict of interest? Of course not. Of course not. How dare you say such a thing? So it's like, I feel like I'm just banging my head against a wall with these things, because the people in charge, the people who say they care, the people who are listening to you, it reminds me of like The Best Interest that I'm watching with Michael Sheen, the bit where they get a social worker in episode 3, a social worker to come and be the voice of the person rather than the parents. Who could better be a child's voice than the parents? But no, the government will get someone from social services to be the voice. The same, like I feel that same frustration that she feels in this system that pretends face value to care, but doesn't really. Because if it really cared, if that person really cared, they'd listen to what we said. They'd listen to what the teacher said. They should have had more from the teacher. The teachers should have more say, I believe, in the HCP. Although I know why they may not, because they may not want the child, so they don't do it. But they should have said, we need this. Aleena needs 1-to-1 support. We can't fund it. They're never going to say that, of course. And this is what we need. And then the education psychologist will see that. Well, yeah, the school who Aleena's going to says they need this. So let's solve the problem. This is what she needs. But no, let's just say it's the class teacher can carry on. And I'm worried now. For the next year, what it's going to be is that we'll have the same problem with the teacher saying, well, we don't have the staff, we don't have the money. Yeah, but we have EHP now. Yeah, but it doesn't specifically say this, that and the other. And can you show me where the LA sending? If I asked the person, for future reference, I wanted to see what the education psychologist said. They haven't sent it to me. I wanted to know, how will I know how much money the LA give to the school? How will I know how the school spends it? Because I've read things online talking about that issue of, because it's given to the discretion of the school to spend it. And then that's why it's very important, the words that the educational psychologist has written in the HCP, because that's where the law is defined. That's why I'm trying to make these amendments. The problem is now I know what I need to write for next year, and what I need to say in the meeting with the educational psychologist is the most important person in the HCP plan. I didn't know, because they want us to sort of make it up with them. It's just so frustrating, because you're trying to do your best for your child and you don't have the knowledge, because this is your first time, and they have all the knowledge. They know exactly what's needed, but they won't do it unless you say it. It's like this special game you have to play. It's like with benefits. If you don't know about them, or if you, like with law and legalese and all that, if you don't know these things, they won't offer it up to you. You have to know these things, say these magic spells, cast these, spellings, these words. And then if you say the right things, then ting, and the right things come. But if you don't do it, they won't help you with it. And then that makes you feel that, well, do they really have the best interest of the child at heart? Or is there something else? Money. Take care, take it easy, God bless, and peace.